All right, I think we are live here on Facebook Live for SetThePaceTriathlon.com. I'm Ryan Falkenrath, and we're doing another video today. It's like two days in a row. Holy cow! More to come. More events coming. But today we're talking about 70.3 Michigan, and specifically we're going to talk about the weather, kind of looking at historical information to kind of see what you should expect on race day. I do this for my races. I tell my athletes to do this. I help my athletes do this for their races. I'm not doing 70.3 Michigan in particular, but I have athletes that are going. I'm working up race plans and training plans and training peaks and final surge and all that. So it kind of goes into, what's the weather going to be like? Are we looking at rain? Are we looking at hot? Are we looking at cold? It kind of plays into the training and how you should prepare and get ready for that race, and maybe gear you should bring, and all kinds of other fun stuff that comes along with it. So we're going to dive right into it. As you can see here on the video background, and in the background of here, this video, I'm not in my basement. Sometimes I'm in my basement. And today I'm upstairs. School has started. The kids are away from home. My wife is not working from home today. She's working out of the house. So I've got a quiet area to do my work here. So enjoy it while it lasts. The nice scenery in the background, nice finished wall, and a hutch to look at. So with that, we're going to jump into 70.3 Michigan. We're going to talk about the weather. So I always like to look on the event page. Just because a while ago, maybe a year ago, they started going through, and if I can get my cursor on there, they put some information about, the swim, the bike, the run, kind of their estimations of what they think it should be like. I've already talked about the swim, the bike, and the run. You can search YouTube for those videos. You can look back in the Facebook group, training group that I've created for it. And it's also be on the course listings for anybody that signed up for the membership on the website. You can go look there and just hit the 70.3 Michigan course, and then it's all there in order of events and stuff, and it's all packaged nice and neat. But digress. So they talked about those, and so now we're going to talk about the air temperatures. So I'm not really going to talk about the water temperature. I mean, I did USAT Nationals in Milwaukee, Lake Michigan, and it was wetsuit legal without a problem. I think it was like 72, 73 degrees or something. Not cold, not horrible. You can probably do it without a wetsuit. But once you're getting to September, you're probably looking at cooler temperatures. So I'm pretty much banking this is going to be a wetsuit legal type of event. Unless something crazy happens, you never know. There's been some crazy heat waves going on this summer, but I'm going to venture a guess. Bring your wetsuit, go full sleeve. Just in the event, bring a backup swim skin or a speed suit or something like that, just in case. But I seriously doubt there'll be a situation where it's not wetsuit legal. But we're going to talk more about just the temperature and the climate and conditions around race day. So this is their kind of prediction, their average air temperature of 67 degrees Fahrenheit, 19 degrees Celsius. So you take that with a grain of salt. I'm not sure where they get this information from. I'm sure I could dig around and find it, maybe ask a question into our Ironman University Certified Coach group. So you're like, hey, where do you guys get this information? But I like to kind of look on my own, kind of find out this information. So I have a few different places I look. Timeanddate.com has some good information, but unfortunately I could not find. Look at Frankfurt, Michigan. Make sure when you're doing your search, you're not looking up Frankfurt, Germany, because that will pop up. So make sure you're looking at Frankfurt, Michigan when you look at the information. I could not find historical information for Frankfurt, Michigan on timeanddate.com, but I found it on another site, wonderground.com, weather history. So what I did was I pulled up the past 3 years, so 2020, 2019, 2018, looking at the weather. So you look up here, I've got September 12th of 2020. And I'm just kind of looking through, high temperature of 68, low of 55, daily average temperature of 60 degrees, precipitation. They got no precipitation that day. Dew point 56, low average wind speed, 12 miles per hour for the max, visibility 10 miles, pressure, day length, all that kind of good stuff. So that was 2020. 2019, 67 was the high. 63 was the average, 60 was a low, wind speed of 15 miles an hour, so it might be a little, 10 miles of visibility. It might be a little bit breezy out there for the bike and the run, but nothing too crazy. Looking at what we got, dew point precipitation, so they got 0, but historical average is 3.3 inches, so that's historical average. And then if you look at 2018, November 12th, 2018, high 75, so it got a little bit warmer. 2018, low of 54. Doesn't get any rain that day. Wind speed 14 miles per hour for the max. Nothing too crazy, too wild. So you can look back, and I looked at their forecast for September 12th, high of 71, low of 55, and no rain in the forecast whatsoever. See, it doesn't show if you're going to get sun or clouds. I think it's too far out for that kind of information. I did look on weather.com, and if you look at September 12th, there's the information: 70 degrees, 54 for the low, record high sunrise, moonrise, and really no other information than that. So, today, recording this, it's August 19th. You're looking at September 12th, so almost a month away. So, take it with a grain of salt, but it is kind of looking like, a forecast of around 71, 70 degrees. Doesn't look too wild and crazy, and historical information. Really looks like it's going to stay cool for this race. So I think you're in a good spot to be out there and doing this race. If you checked out my swim, bike, and run video about this course, I think the one thing you want to make sure is if it's sunny, even when it's cool, you can still get sunburned. So I'd definitely pack some sunscreen. On the run course, you're not exactly shaded. There's not too many areas that look for Google Maps. Like I said, I'm not local. Just had to go on Google Maps and kind of look at what's going on. Not too many trees and stuff around to really get that much shade or anything. So I think if it's sunny, you'll get exposed to that, and you might need some sunscreen or something like that just to make sure you don't get sunburnt. But overall, it looks like it's going to be pretty dry. So I just make sure that you stay on a good hydration plan, a good nutrition plan. Don't go overboard. You don't want hyponatremia because you're just overloading too much. You're not sweating anything out, and you're diluting your system and all that kind of fun stuff. So make sure that you kind of load it up on everything, and you're doing a good, smart plan to do your race, and you're well hydrated and well nourished and all that kind of fun stuff. But again, just looking at the historical information, looking at the forecast, I think 70 degrees is going to be perfect. If it's sunny, if it's cloudy, that 70 degrees is still going to be perfect. I think the water is going to be wetsuit legal. It's got a nice man-made harbor area, so it's going to be protected from any kind of severe waves or wind or anything like that. So I don't think you really have to worry about that. So overall, just looking at the weather, like I said, I had to go to wonderground.com for the history for Frankfort, Michigan, just again to get some historical information for the past 3 years: 68 degrees, 67, 75. So I think you're looking at mid-60s to mid-70s is kind of your range. Probably a sunny day, and that's maybe the worst you have to worry about. It does get 14 miles per hour, 15 miles an hour, 12 miles per hour for the max wind speed. So there might be a little bit of wind on the bike, and you kind of have to mess with that and make sure that you're comfortable with either crosswinds or headwind. If you've got deep dish wheels, that could always be a problem if you've got 808s on the front like I run. If you're not comfortable in the crosswind and it gets 14, 15 miles per hour for the gusts, that could play a little bit havoc when you're on the bike and kind of screw with you a little bit and the confidence out there on your bike. But so just make sure that you're comfortable with that. If you're not, consider dialing down to if you got 404s or if you got more shallow rims or something like that, then you should be good to go. Other than that, there's really not that much to say about the weather. It looks like it's going to be perfect. I don't think it's going to be hot. It could be an off year, but I've looked at the forecast on wonderground.com, 71 degrees, and I've looked at weather.com and about 70 degrees. It's pretty much sandwiched in 70s and 60s. 70s and 60s. I don't see any kind of heat wave coming on. I know here in Kansas City next week we're looking at 100 degree plus heat index. I don't see that going on for here. It looks like the temperatures are going to pretty much start dropping in the beginning of September for that area. So I think that weather should play out to be pretty perfect for that race and that time of year. Personally, I'm a cool weather racer. I like cool weather better. I work a lot better in it. The heat is just not my favorite. I'm not a fan of it, and it's not a fan of me. I don't think you have to worry about it for this race. So that's basically kind of the 10,000 foot view. 70.3 Michigan. Look at the weather. I think their average air temperature is pretty accurate, 67 degrees. Water temperature 65. So 65 is, if that's accurate, that water's going to be pretty cold. So I would definitely recommend a full sleeve wetsuit. Personally, I don't like being cold in the water, so I use full sleeve whenever it's wetsuit legal. So I definitely recommend having a full sleeve for that swim. But overall, that's kind of the highs and lows of, pun intended, for the weather that we're talking about for Frankfort, Michigan, for 70.3 Michigan. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you liked it you're watching it on YouTube, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Put a comment there if you thought something was great. If you think I needed to hit something else, put that in there too. Put the comments in Facebook. If you think that I should include other information on there, if I should talk faster, talk slower, anything like that, put it on there. So with that, happy training out there and good luck on race day. We'll see you guys out there.